the cloud. Hi, and welcome everyone, whether you're on the live or on the replay or watching us on YouTube. My name is Robin Forster, and I am with Feel So Alive and Feel So Alive Informed. And today it is my honor to share with you a healer that's fascinating and actually lives in the Eugene, Oregon area, which is unusual. And Cindy is going to talk to us about what she does in her energy healing and how she got there. And first, Cindy, why don't you go ahead and say hi to everybody?
Hello, all your listeners.
Excellent. And as with everything these days, we may have a glitch with the internet, so just be patient. It'll come back on or we'll do something. And oh, just to let you know, I will be looking down at my notes now and then because I have these questions that I really want to ask Cindy. And so I want to make sure that I don't miss them. And also, I'll be taking notes on the tips that she gives us. So stay tuned until the very end so that you can hear her tips or gifts to us. So, Cindy, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? So we have a feel for where you're coming from, your background. And I know it's hard. I'm asking you to do it in 2 minutes, and I know that that's a challenge.
Yes, it can be. But yeah, I'm an intuitive energy healer, and I do all my work over the distance. I use the phone and Zoom. I teach webinars, and um, I have an online healing circle that can help groups of people aligning their energy all at one, and then we pump it out to the world or all those that need it. So I do a lot of different modalities, and it's all I can do it at a distance. And I learned how to do that because I have a farm with alpacas, 22 alpacas on my farm, 22, 24. I
Wow.
lose count sometimes. But they don't like to be touched. So they taught me how to do distance work. When I started to communicate with them, they were really instrumental in honing my skills as I got to know them better and wanted to participate in how they communicate, which is intuitively. So they were wonderful teachers, which led me to teaching animal communication classes using alpacas, taught workshops all over the country on how to communicate with animals. And they've helped me be a whole lot better at my work as a healer. I have a background in engineering, and I used to work on radars, and now I am one. But that's how I interpret a lot of the energy is by frequency. So that training has actually integrated into me so that I could interpret it. That's how I process when I'm getting information from people and able to do it over the phone. It's all frequencies to me. And then I got earned a master's degree in counseling. So I've honed those skills of being able to coach and a lot of hours and training under supervision so that I can provide ethical and meaningful support to people. And so I work with both people and animals.
Fascinating. I'm just real fascinated, a little hung up on how you were an engineer and you were also in the Navy, right?
I worked for the Navy. I was
You
not
worked,
in the Navy, but I worked for
okay,
them
so
for
you
almost
worked
20
for,
years.
wow, okay. And now you're on an alpaca farm in Oregon.
Yes. I made a little U-turn, left turn, right turn.
That's just
But I
fascinating.
use a lot of the skills. I was a project engineer, and for a lot of the projects that I do outside of the healing, I've written a number of books, and for teaching my courses and just setting up the business, I use the engineering skills of knowing how to get a project off the ground.
Interesting. So if somebody came to you because they have an issue, and most people these days have a pet, so let's say there's an animal involved, but they were trying to, in these days of COVID, everyone's kind of reevaluating and stressed out. So it sounds like what I'm hearing you say is that you could do the counseling component to help somebody, but you're also going to use the frequencies so you can help them to get on track. Is that?
Well, actually, what I'm sensing a lot, I'm an empath, so I sense both physical and emotional issues, and I'm both a physical and an emotional empath. So I actually feel the discomfort in my body, and then I also can pick up the emotions. And to me, emotions are just frequencies. But negative emotions are what gets stuck in our bodies, and it's true for pets and for us. And we all act like mini radars. We transmit and receive energy. So when we're stressed out, our pets will pick that up and absorb it as well, because the negative emotions are more easily trapped into our bodies. So we need to be able to identify what those emotions are. The animals don't care as much what the emotions are, they just want to get rid of it. And what those emotions do, and it's true for both humans and animals, is that they create both physical and behavioral issues. So by releasing the trapped emotions, then the pets can, and then I communicate with them what the issue is and what we want it to change to the positive. So if they're potting outside the litter box or having accidents in the house or chewing up something, destroying something, I can release the emotion that's created the behavior in the first place, and then tell them, can you please go back into your litter box? And usually they do, because they don't need to get our attention anymore if it's a behavioral issue. If it's a physical issue, then by removing the trapped emotions, it helps our natural healing abilities to get to the places that it's been blocked from.
Wow, that's a lot. I know this is
That
what
was
you
a fire
do.
hose, I know. I teach a lot longer courses on it, so you got a fire hose.
But it's amazing and it's fascinating because I had no idea, but my background is behavioral. And so to hear that piece, and I'm learning more and more about how stuff gets stuck in our bodies, and what you're saying all makes a lot of sense.
We store our issues in our tissues.
Oh, that is so cute. And yeah, I think that's absolutely true. Um, so you told us a little bit about how you got drawn to this, and it was through your alpacas. And um, how are some, and you've told us a little bit about this too, but how have other people benefited from your healing skills? And I don't know if you want to share with us the little testimonial that you have on your website, the howling dog, or if you
Oh,
have another
okay. I was going,
story.
which one is there? That was during a webinar, actually, the howling dog, the case of the mystery of the howling dog. And it was during a demo during one of my webinars for animals. And this person came on wanting to know why their two dogs would howl every morning at 7 a.m. And that was the only time it was right before they go for a walk. And it went on for years, and she just didn't know. She was just besides herself. She had no idea why these dogs would do that, because they went for multiple walks throughout the day, and they never howled during the afternoon. It was just first thing in the morning at 7 a.m. every day. And so I released a couple emotions about it for the dogs, and then I asked her. I said, well, so what happened, I don't know, many years ago? Did something happen to you early in the morning? And it turned out she had a horrible accident right before she was going to take her dogs for a walk. She fell and broke her leg seriously, and they had, rushed to hospital, and their dogs, had to get taken by a sister or somebody, and she couldn't have them for almost a year while she healed.
Mhm.
And so these dogs had a PTSD response every morning about 7 a.m., wondering when she was getting up to get dressed, if she was going to have this accident and they would be pulled away from her again. So I
Oh,
cleared
wow.
the trapped emotions that related to the trauma of that experience, and then told them that no, this was a one-time event, and that was highly unlikely of ever happening again. And so we solved the mystery of why they were howling, and hopefully I didn't hear back from her that they were still howling, so I assumed that we fixed it.
Neat. Well, in the time that we have left, we have about 2 or 3 minutes left. Are there some gifts, some tips or techniques that you can share with everyone to help them center, heal, all the things we're all trying to deal with in these COVIDian days?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what I do a lot of for myself, and this is what I also teach during my webinars. And it's a real simple couple little simple things you do. And the main thing, it's everybody can do it, and it's called breathing. But most of us don't breathe very fully. So I do what I call breathing in fours, and you just take in a slow, deep breath of 4, hold it for the count of 4, and wait 4 seconds, or a count of 4, and then let it go on a count of four. So every part of the breathing passage, do it on a count of four. And then once you've done that a few times, you're going to lower your blood pressure and get yourself recentered a little bit. Add in something you're grateful for. And even if you can't access that, if you're really in your fear brain, just say the word gratitude, and because that's releasing a high frequency chemical into your body, and that triggers your parasympathetic response system, which is your calming system. So you want to get to your calming system. So breathing fully, slow yourself down, and then add in gratitude, and that's going to help counter that stress, the adrenaline based, fear based energy that you're in. So just do that regularly. It takes about 2 minutes to pull yourself out of it. So stay with it for about 2 minutes, and then you should feel yourself calming down.
Excellent. That sounds
One
very
last little
doable.
quick tip if you have time. When you get to that point, and I know you work with a lot with business people, the third component that helps me is that I add a phrase, what would it take? So it gets me out of that spinning. I can't
Ah,
get out of my worry thoughts, spinning thoughts. Once I get myself grounded, do the breathing, gratitudes, do at least 3 gratitudes, spend a little bit of time, 2 minutes doing that, then add in the phrase, what would it take? And add in what you want to get done. Okay, a simple task. And that gets you into an action step instead of the hamster wheel.
nice. That is awesome. And that is the amount of time that we have. And thank you so much. This has
Welcome.
been wonderful, Cindy.
Thank you for inviting me.